The vanished Earth vessel returns. The technology that defies the known universe. Lena stood by her window, watching gray clouds drift over the empty street. She held a small model of a spaceship in her hands, the one her best friend Marco had given her before he moved away. Every time she looked at it, she felt the space growing between them, like a starship slipping into the dark vacuum of space. They had built that model together in Marco's garage last summer. They painted it bright silver and red, imagining it slicing through galaxies. Back then, they believed they would always share dreams and adventures. Now Marco lived in another country, and their video calls had become rare. Time zones and new friends had stretched their bond thin. Each night, Lena sent Marco a message. A funny picture, a drawing, a memory. But replies came slowly, one word at a time. She reread his last text, "I'm fine," and felt her heart sink. It was not enough. She wanted to talk like they used to, laughing until they nearly fell off their chairs. She missed the spark. In his eyes, when he told her his latest idea for a rocket, the way he cheered when she scored a goal, the sound of his voice. Lena tried everything. She wrote Marco a long email about her day, the cat that scratched her shoes. The cake she baked, it didn't rise, the book she could not put down. She sent snapshots of her life, a new plant, her favorite coffee mug, the sunset over the hill. Behind her house, she even recorded a short video singing a silly song they used to sing together. Still, the replies were slow and short. Her mother noticed Lena's quiet mood. One afternoon, she sat beside her daughter and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You miss him," she said softly. Lena nodded. "It's like he's a starship that left Earth. I don't know how to bring him back." Her mother smiled and sent him an invitation. Ask him to come back, even just for a day, even just in a message. Tell him how much you need him. Night, Lena opened her laptop. She stared at the blank screen until her fingers began to move. She wrote, "Marco, I'm lonely without you. I feel like part of me is missing, a part that only you can fill. I want to share my life with you again. Will you help me rebuild our friendship?" She paused, then added, "No matter how far apart we are, I believe in us. I believe our bond can survive anything." She hit send and closed her eyes. Her heart drummed like a countdown, waiting for his answer. The next morning, a new message glowed in her inbox. Her breath caught as she clicked it open. Marco wrote, "Lena, I read your words and they reached me. I'm sorry I've been distant. I moved so fast that I forgot what matters most. I'd love to rebuild our friendship. Start today." He attached a photo, a small silver and red spaceship model, just like theirs, sitting on his desk. Tears filled Lena's eyes. Her heart felt light again. She dashed outside and held the little ship toward the sky as if it could really return. To the stars, she imagined it launching, glowing bright against the dark. Over the next days, their messages grew longer. They video chatted late into the night, planning new projects, sharing secrets, laughing as if no time had passed. Lena felt the distance shrank with every ping of her phone. She realized that hope could bridge any void. One evening, Marco surprised her with a package. Inside was a model of an Earth vessel, sleek, shining, and engraved with their names. A note read, "For new adventures." Lena gripped the ship and knew that sometimes what you need most is a clear call, a simple invitation. It's the faith that connection can return. Lena placed the vessel on her shelf, right beside the first one. It glowed under her lamp as if alive. She whispered to herself with a smile, "The vanished Earth vessel returns, technology that defies the known universe." Lena woke early, her heart humming with excitement. After weeks of late-night video calls and shared plans, today she and Marco would begin their first joint project, building a small demonstration drone together, though miles apart. They had designed it hand in hand, sketching blueprints over screens and debating materials. Now, each held the same blueprint in her or his room, ready to transform lines on paper into something real. She set her laptop on the kitchen table and arranged her tools. Thin aluminum sheets, a tiny electric motor, and a spool of copper wire. On the screen, Marco mirrored her setup on his desk halfway across the globe. His face brightened when he saw her, ready, co-pilot?" he asked. "Always," Lena replied, her voice firm. She tapped the first instruction. Cut the aluminum into 4 equal blades. The sound of her scissors was crisp. 8. Marco's scissors followed almost instantly, their motions in perfect rhythm. In that moment, distance felt like a phantom. They moved as one. Piece by piece, they assembled the drone's frame. Lena struggled to bend a blade just right, creased unevenly. Frustrated, she bit her lip. Marco saw her frown. "Take a breath," he said. "Try again, slow and steady." His calm confidence seeped into her bones. She straightened the metal and gently curved it. Each correction reminded her of Marco's faith in her faith, stronger than any doubt. The new blade matched its siblings, and Lena grinned, proud. By midday, the frame stood complete. They soldered the copper coils to the motor, carefully wrapping strands until the coils glowed pink from the heat of soldering. Lena's fingers tingled from the warmth, but she didn't stop. Marco narrated each step, his voice steady like a captain guiding an expedition. During a break, Lena looked at the 2 spaceship models on her shelf. One showed their childhood dreams. The other symbolized their renewed friendship. She felt pride that humans, fragile beings on a small planet, could conquer both loneliness and distance through creativity and care. When the drone finally hovered above her palm, Lena felt a surge of triumph. Its tiny rotors buzzed smoothly, lifting the small frame effortlessly. On screen, Marco whooped and spun in his chair. "We did it," he laughed. Together, Lena echoed, wiping a tear of pure joy. This creation was more than a machine. It was proof that human will and hope could bridge any gap. In the following days, their project grew. They tested different coatings to make the drone more durable, debated optimal battery life, and sketched ideas for future upgrades. Solar cells, improved sensors, even tiny cameras. Each challenge they tackled became a new chance to learn and to trust one another. Lena discovered hidden strengths within herself: patience when circuits refused to connect, persistence when codes refused to compile. Marco found himself more open to collaboration, listening closely to Lena's ideas rather than racing ahead. Through every success and stumble, they built not just technology, but a living bond. One evening, Marco shared news that made Lena's heart leap. His family would visit her country next month. They were planning a summer holiday near Lena's town. I asked if she could show him the local science fair, where they might present their drone. Lena's smile lit the room. "I'll prepare our best demonstration yet," she promised. As their faces lit by the glow of screens, they imagined presenting on a real stage, together at last. Before logging off, Lena paused and said, "Thank you, Marco, for believing in us, in our friendship. I feel closer to you than ever." "My thanks go to you," Marco replied. "You reminded me that distance can't erase what matters. We will keep building machines, memories, and dreams." When Lena closed her laptop, she looked at the little drone perched on her desk and whispered to herself, "We are human. And we are capable of incredible things. No distance can defeat us." She felt a warm hope fill her chest, certain that their friendship and their inventions would soar far beyond the limits of space and time. Lena woke before sunrise, her room bathed in soft orange light. Today, she would practice the drone demonstration by herself. Marco's visit was still weeks away, and she felt his absence more keenly than ever, though their video calls kept their friendship alive. She missed the warmth of his laughter echoing in the same room. She set the little drone on her desk and checked its rotors. The model hovered steadily, but something in Lena's heart wavered. She realized that building machines together had taught them to rebuild their bond, but now she needed to find a way to strengthen it even more before he arrived. Lena grabbed her notebook, filled with sketches and notes from their chats. It flipped to the last page, a rough drawing of a hand-painted banner reading, "Welcome home, Marco." She smiled, but felt the edges of uncertainty. What if he found the banner silly? What if the drone failed at the fair? What if their friendship, tested by distance, could not survive the real world? She pressed her palms against her eyes, breathing deeply. Then she remembered everything she and Marco had overcome: late-night coding errors, misaligned rotor blades, time zone mix-ups. They had faced every challenge with patience, trust, and a passionate belief in one another. Humanity, she thought, was never alone. People helped each other. Even across oceans. Buoyed by that thought, Lena began to decorate the banner. She chose bright colors: blue for hope, red for courage, green for growth. Each brushstroke was a promise. She would be there, steady and true, no matter how far apart they began. When she finished, the banner glowed on her wall like a sunrise. After breakfast, Lena left her house and walked to the community center. Sunlight filtered through the leaves overhead, and she felt energy in every step. Before the drone can fly, she reminded herself, we must build confidence. Today, she would invite her neighbors to help with her demonstration and share her story of friendship and invention. Inside the center's hall, tables stood empty. Lena set up her laptop and the drone parts. Soon, curious children trickled in, followed by parents. Lena greeted them with a warm smile. This drone, she explained, holding up the tiny machine, shows how people can work together no matter the distance. A boy named Amir asked, how did you build it if your friend lives far away? Lena thought of Marco's patient voice, guiding her through each step. We drew every part on the same plan over video calls, she said. Then we gathered our tools and built 2 identical drones, one he built, one I built. Now I'm showing you mine. The children leaned forward. She taught them how to cut cardboard blades safely, how to solder simple circuits, and how to test the rotors. With each child who succeeded, Lena felt her own hope grow. She realized that her friendship with Marco was part of a larger human story. People teaching people, sharing dreams, and lifting each other up. This was HFY humanity helping youth in every soul. By midday, the hall buzzed with excitement. Parents thanked Lena, and the children waved at the hovering drones. Lena's phone pinged. A message from Marco. She opened it and found a photo of his own demonstration in his city. He was teaching a group of kids just like hers. He wrote, "They loved it here too. We are one team." Lena's smile spread across her face. Distance was no match for their shared purpose. That afternoon, Lena packed up her supplies and rolled the banner into a tube. Outside, the sky was clear and bright. She lifted her face to the sun. In her mind, she heard Marco say, "We did it," and she knew they would. Their partnership, born of hope, creativity, and unwavering faith, was stronger than any miles between them. That night, Lena sat by her window, the banner hanging beside her spaceship models. She typed a message to Marco. "Thank you for reminding me that we are human, and we are never alone. Can't wait to see you." She hit send and watched as the little paper airplane icon flew across the screen. Lena closed her laptop and whispered into the quiet room. "We can bridge any distance, as long as we believe in each other." Outside, the wind carried her words toward the horizon, into Marco's waiting hands. Lena woke to birds singing outside her window. Today was the day Marco would arrive. Her stomach fluttered like the tiny drone she had built. After weeks of planning the science fair demonstration together, they were finally going to meet in person. She dressed quickly and ate a simple breakfast of toast and fruit. Her mother gave her a hug. "You look so happy," she said. Lena nodded, trying to calm her nerves. "I can't wait to see him," she whispered, at the airport. Lena carried the rolled-up welcome home, banner in one hand and a small gift in the other. A notebook decorated with drawings of space, ships and drones, symbols of their friendship. She checked the arrival board. Flight KM457 from Marco's city was due in 10 minutes. Inside the terminal, people rushed in every direction. Lena scanned each new face, hoping to spot Marco's bright smile. Her heart pounded. She remembered their calls, his gentle laughter, his encouragement when she got stuck on a tricky circuit. Now she wondered, would meeting feel different? Had too much time passed? Then she saw him. Marco stood by the gate, holding a small suitcase and scanning the crowd. His eyes caught hers and his face lit up. Lena ran forward, the banner unfurling. Behind her, "Marco," she cried. He smiled wide and dropped his bags. They hugged as if they were long-lost explorers, finally home. Lena felt warmth flood her chest. The distance that had felt so vast now seemed as small as a grain of sand. They walked outside into the bright morning sun. Birds still sang, and Lena pointed them out. Marco laughed. "Look, Earth's music," he said. It was a simple moment. But Lena knew it was part of what made humanity so special, noticing small wonders together. On the drive to the community center, they chatted about everything: the fair preparations, the kids they'd taught, their worries and hopes. Each word strengthened their bond. Lena realized that talking face to face was different. She could see every emotion in his eyes, every shade of excitement at the center. They set up the banner and the drone demonstration. Children and parents gathered just as before. But this time Lena and Marco stood side by side. He handed her the decorated notebook. She opened it to find new blueprints. A design for a solar-powered drone that could fly longer and carry more weight. "I drew this for us," Marco said. "I want to build it with you." Lena's eyes shone. Together, they pinned the plans to the wall. Next to the banner, when the drone hovered smoothly above their hands, the crowd cheered. Lena felt pride for all humans who work together, share ideas, and make new things. This was HFY, humanity facing the yearning to help, to invent, and to hope. After the demonstration, Lena and Marco sat on a bench outside. The sun was warm, and a gentle breeze rustled the banner. Marco opened the notebook again. "I know we rebuilt our friendship through screens and steel parts," he said, "but I want to carry that spirit." Lena and Marco walked slowly back toward the science fair grounds as the afternoon sun dipped low. The banner fluttered behind them, its bright colors glowing in the warm light. Lena felt both joy and a small pang of sadness, a reminder that, before today, she had feared they might never bridge the gap between them. They reached a quiet corner under a large oak tree. Marco sat down on a low stone wall, and Lena joined him. He took a deep breath, then spoke softly. "I've been thinking," he said. "Our friendship grew stronger when we shared our work, but I still worry about distance. What if one day we drift apart again?" Lena's chest tightened. She understood his fear. She looked around at the empty paths and thought of all the miles they had overcome already. Then she smiled gently. "I feel the same," she admitted. "But I've also learned something important. When we care about someone, we find a way." We stayed connected through screens, we built drones together, and now we stand here side by side. Marco nodded, watching a few late students pack up their projects nearby. "Yes," he said, "but how can we keep that going after today?" His words carried a quiet longing. Lena reached into her backpack and pulled out the decorated notebook he had given her. She opened it to a fresh page and held it out. "Make a plan," she suggested. "It's not just for building things, but for staying close. We can set goals, like weekly video challenges or shared projects. We can write letters, real letters, to send by mail. And we can promise to always speak honestly when we start to feel distant." Marco's eyes lit up. He flipped the notebook so he could write. So with a black pen, he wrote friendship plan at the top of the page. Below, he added Lena's ideas: weekly video call at the same time each Sunday, monthly mail letters with drawings and stories, shared project every season, drones in spring, model rockets in summer, stories in autumn, small robots in winter, honest check-ins. "If I'm distant, tell me so I can fix it." Lena read each line and felt hope bloom in her heart. "Yes," she whispered. "This will be our map back to each other, no matter where we live." They marked checkboxes beside each item. The simple act felt like forging links in an unbreakable chain. Marco closed the notebook and held it against his chest. "We're doing this together," he said. That evening, Lena and Marco returned home. After dinner, Lena sat on her bed with the notebook open. She sketched a little icon beside each. List item: a video camera for weekly calls. An envelope sealed with a heart for letters, a tiny drone for seasonal projects, and 2 hands clasped for honest check-ins. Each drawing reminded her that hope and human care could span any distance. Later, as she prepared for bed, Lena looked at the 2 spaceship models in the notebook on her shelf. They stood as symbols, the first model for memories of childhood dreams. The second for her and Marco's renewed bond, and the notebook for their future journey together. She felt a warm glow of pride for herself, for Marco, and for all people who choose connection over isolation. That night, Lena wrote her first letter to Marco, in neat, careful handwriting. She described her day, helping at the fair, meeting friends, and their conversation under the oak tree. She closed the letter with a promise. I will always reach out even when it's hard. She slipped it into an envelope, sealed it, and placed it by her door. In his room far away, Marco tucked the notebook into his backpack before sleep. He wrote a message in his phone. Just sent you something special by mail. I hope it makes you smile. He set his alarm for their Sunday video call and felt a gentle comfort before drifting off. Across the miles, under different stars, Lena and Marco slept with hearts lighter than they had been in weeks. They had made a plan built on trust and creativity, the very things that make humanity strong. And in their dreams, they flew together on the wings of hope, knowing that distance could never truly separate to people who refused to let go. Lena woke early on Sunday morning. Today was the day of her first weekly video call with Marco under their new friendship plan. Her heart fluttered as she set up her laptop. She arranged her lighting so her face would be clear.
She
Waited, staring at the clock on her wall. When the call time arrived, her screen dinged to life. Marco appeared, smiling but a little tired. He rubbed his eyes. Sorry, he said. I had a late project meeting. Lena nodded. She felt a small wave of disappointment, but she remembered their promise. Honest check-ins. She took a deep breath. It's okay, she said gently. But I was worried when you didn't answer right away. Marco's face softened. I know, he said. I will set a reminder on my phone so I don't miss our calls. Lena smiled. Even when things went wrong, they worked it out together. This was HFY. People helping people to stay close. They spent the next hour catching up. Marco showed her a photo of his new apartment, with bright curtains and a small desk. Lena showed him the banner she hung in her room. They laughed when they saw how crooked the welcome home letters looked. Then they moved on to their project. Spring drones. They decided to build a lightweight drone that could carry a small package. Lena sketched the design, while Marco described the parts he needed. They paused to solve a problem when the motor speed seemed to slow. Lena suggested changing the battery type. Marco agreed. They refined the blueprint together, their ideas blending like two colors on a canvas. After the call, Lena felt warm inside. Even setbacks like missed reminders and technical glitches could not break their bond. She packed away her laptop and grabbed her notebook. In neat writing, she recorded what they learned today. Set alarms for calls, test batteries before soldering, and always share pictures of new tools. Each note was a promise seeded with hope. That afternoon, Lena walked to the post office. She carried 2 envelopes, one for Marco, one for their project partner, her neighbor Amir. She slipped her first real letter to Marco into the slot. Inside, she had drawn a small comic of their video call, with a speech bubble. Next time, no late meetings. She sealed it and mailed it. On her way home, she thought about the power of simple actions. Humans could use metal and code to build. Flying machines, yes, but they could also use paper and pen to reconnect hearts. This was HFY. Human feelings yearned to bridge any distance. In the evening, Lena sat down with Amir to work on the neighbor's package drone. He was bright and eager. Asking many questions, Lena guided him through the steps she and Marco had discussed. As the drone took shape, she felt pride in humanity's spirit of sharing knowledge, of teaching and learning across boundaries. Later that night, her phone buzzed. A message from Marco. Got your letter today. I love the comic. It made me laugh. I missed you too. Lena's chest warmed. She typed back. Your reply means the world. Thank you for writing. She stared at the screen, imagining Marco holding her letter in his hands. Miles away. Before bed, Lena reviewed their friendship plan page in the notebook. She checked the box for weekly video call completed. She checked the box for monthly mail letters completed. Then she wrote a new goal in the blank space below. planned summer project solar drone race. She drew a small sun icon next to it. Lena placed the notebook on her shelf beside the spaceship models and the banner. She felt a deep sense of hope. Life would bring busy days and unexpected challenges. Yet she knew that with simple plans, honest words, and shared projects, she and Marco could stay close. No matter how far apart they lived, they would remain a team. She turned off her lamp and slipped under her covers. In the still darkness, Lena whispered to herself, "We are human, and we find ways to stay together." Outside her window, a soft breeze rustled the leaves. It sounded like applause for her determination, a gentle reminder that hope, once kindled, can light the darkest nights. Lena woke early, on a bright summer morning. Today was the day of their solar drone race. For weeks, she and Marco had planned, designed, and built 2 drones, one in her workshop here and one in his garage far away. Now the big moment had come. She carried her solar drone under her arm as she walked toward the fairgrounds. The grass was still wet with morning dew, and the sun glowed warm over the field. She wore a t-shirt with a small sun symbol, her badge for Team Hope. At the starting line, a group of children and parents gathered. Lena set her drone gently on the launch pad. The solar panels gleamed black and silver. Nearby, a video screen connected to Marco's laptop stood ready. Through the phone camera, she could see Marco waving from his home city. "Ready, co-pilot?" Lena called. "Ready?" Marco's voice replied, crackling through the speakers. "Let's do this together." The judge raised a flag. Both drones sat still, absorbing sunlight. Lena watched her drone's propellers twitch as the motors powered up. On screen, Marco's drone did the same. 3, 2, 1, go. The flag dropped. Lena held her breath. Her drone lifted smoothly, guided by the sun's rays. She controlled its direction with a small remote. It hovered above the grass, then rose, circling the course. On the video screen, she saw Marco's drone climb, too steady, strong. They flew their drones in sync, rounding flags and markers. Lena felt a surge of pride. Even though they were apart, they moved as one. Their hearts beat together with every twist and turn in the sky. Halfway through the course, Lena noticed a shadow pass over her solar panels. A sudden cloud blocked the sun. Her drone lost power and dipped low. Panic jolted her chest. "I'm losing sunlight," she called out. "See it," Marco said calmly. "Tilt your drone to the left. Catch the sun on its side." Lena adjusted the controls. The drone swung gently, its panels catching a bright beam as the cloud drifted away. The motors hummed back to full speed. Lena exhaled, relief flooding her. "That was close," she said, smiling. "But you did it," Marco answered. "We did it." The drones crossed the finish line almost at the same time. The crowd cheered, and on the screen Marco pumped his fist. Lena's eyes filled with tears of joy. After the race, Lena packed up the drone and hugged her notebook, the one they used for their friendship plan. A judge handed her a small trophy. Best Collaborative Design. She held it high and showed it to the camera. Marco clapped and laughed. Later, under a big tent, Lena unrolled the Welcome Home banner again and hung it for a picture. Then she stood with her trophy and waved at Marco through the screen. "Thank you," she said. "We couldn't have done it without each other." Marco nodded. "We are stronger together," he replied. "Thank you for building hope with me." As the sun set, Lena walked toward the edge of the fairgrounds. She carried the trophy in her solar drone. She paused to look at the sky, painted orange and pink. She thought of Marco, far away, but close in spirit. In that moment, Lena felt the truth of their journey. Distance had been only a test, a challenge that showed how humans could reach across oceans with technology and kindness. She had felt sad and lost when Marco moved away, but now she knew. Human hope and the will to connect could build bridges stronger than any miles. She whispered softly, "We are human, and our hope can light any sky." The gentle breeze carried her words out across the field, across cities, countries, and seas to Marco's waiting heart. And in that shared hope, Lena and Marco found each other again, no matter how far the distance.